She's a certified mentor, certified by TREB. Very well known in the real estate industry. She's going to give us over an hour and a half of in-depth, interactive seminar on how to kickstart your 2025 real estate business. So we all know the market, right? We all know what's happened in the past few years. The market's gone up, it's gone down, and right now, I think we are probably in the lowest period of the market. A lot of agents ask me what's going to happen in the next 3-6 months. You know, I wish I knew, right? If I knew, I could probably make a lot of money from being able to tell the future, but nobody knows. But what I know is, you know, the interest rate likely will continue to go down because the government wants to encourage spending and promote a healthy economy, right? If we have too high of an interest rate, it doesn't really help the economy. So I think the interest rate will continue to go down. And we know the market, we know that there's lots of sellers, there's lots of buyers, right? Right now it's a buyer's market, and I think the interest rate, the mortgage rates are still a bit too high. I know lots of my friends, you know, they want to upgrade their house, but they can't afford it because the mortgage rate is simply too high. So I think once we see some movement downwards in the mortgage rate, I think more buyers will qualify for mortgages. Then that'll increase the buyer pool and hopefully give us a better market. I think the spring market should be very good. I think that will help us kind of rebound us into a very good second half of the year. So I'm always very positive. I think every one of us should be positive. You know, as a realtor, you can read all the news you want, but at the end of the day, we have to focus on our own self, our business, and our skills. And that's why you've all joined us today. So I always think that you need to have two things to have a very good business plan. You need to have a plan, right? You need to have a strategic plan that's tailored for yourself. So for your business, given how you've done, you may be, you know, 10, 15, 20 years into the business. You may be new. So everyone should have a different business plan of how they're going to tackle their real estate this year. And second, you need a very strong mindset. You need a winning mindset. You know, I know everyone knows that, you know, work from home, lots of people work from home. If you don't get outside, if you stay at home, that's all you're going to know, right? And it's great to see so many of you here today, you know, joining us in person. You need to have a winning mindset, and that means you need to have confidence. You need to be able to explain to your client the high level of service and professional service that you provide and what you can provide them. Because there's so many realtors out there. How can you make yourself stand out? So you need to have confidence. You need to be able to get the client, convert those leads, get the client, and close the deal. So there's a whole process. Marianne is going to give us lots of details today. You know, she's going to talk about how to get more listings, how to get more buyer clients, how to leverage AI. We've heard of AI, right? And how to kind of survive and also thrive in the market, right? We don't want to just survive, we want to thrive. Lots of people are very successful in a down market, right? How do they do it? In an up market, you know, it's easy to be successful, but in a down market that's going up, how can we position ourselves with the tools and the skills that we're going to show you today? How do we position ourselves for success? So stay tuned. We're going to have lots of lucky draws as well at the end of the event today. So, Marianne, going to jump to the stage.
Excellent. Right, I just need the presentation put up here. Just somewhere here. I'll put it right here. And if it falls, it falls. That's just the way it is. Oh well, we'll just put it down here. All right, guys, so my name's Marianne Gillespie. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Home Life. I am super excited to be here, to Tony and Scott for inviting me. If you knew how hard it was for me to get here, literally, we were the flight that was right behind landing at Pearson the other day. So I was on that flight. I was supposed to be somewhere else yesterday, which I did make it. But we've had 6 canceled flights, 2 trains canceled, but we made it here. I was like, it was not going to not make it. So those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Marianne Gillespie. I'm a lead business coach. I work predominantly with realtors. I'm a secret weapon that a lot of people have behind them. So I built the #1 real estate office in Canada, United States for production. That company is actually in Ottawa, Ontario, so I took that over and built that company from nothing, and before selling it. So it's no longer mine, so anyway, so it's gone. Anyway, but that was great, so we did that. So if you don't think Canadians can rock, we can. We beat everybody for production. I currently coach the #1 Canadian team, so the #1 Canadian realtor team in the entire country. Again, they're not in Ontario though. I work with 7 of the top 20 teams in the industry currently. I've built over 230 millionaires in real estate in Canada from $0 to $1 million. It takes about 2 years to do that, and I currently actually work with 2 of the 3 top producers on the Toronto Real Estate Board. So I'm very excited about that, and I love it. International speaker on technical mindset. I have over 31,000 billable coaching hours in the real estate industry, published in Forbes magazine 7 times. I've recruited over 350 agents, and I'm an Ironman World Championship athlete. And so at the end of the day, I think this year, I'd like to be a little bit more ambitious. I'm not too sure. But anyway, long story short, I have a very, very good resume. So what I'm going to teach you guys today and show you guys, Tony came to me and he says, what I want you to show the agents in the audience is how to build your business and what are the key things that we're seeing as trends for 2025. So the credibility I want to show you, very important. We know our stuff aggressively. So that's very important to us. So if you're interested in succeeding in real estate, you'll do really good with this. What is an Ironman? We do 2.4 miles of swimming, 112 miles of riding a bike, followed by a marathon right after. So that is very, very awesome. And you require a mindset that's very different. So you're not allowed using music. So what I'm going to share with you guys though is this. The reason why, and I'm talking very fast because I've got a lot of stuff to show you guys today. One of the most important things that I like to share with the group is everybody in this audience is either going through something or you think you're going through something that nobody else can relate to. So what you saw up there is you saw somebody who's very accomplished and very, I would like to say I've done really well and I worked very hard. So you can take a look at that. But what people don't understand is where I came from. This is one of the reasons I'm one of the toughest coaches in the real estate industry, but I'm also one of the most powerful coaches for where to take your business. I know my stuff because the people who trust me in Ontario and Canada are aggressive, so I need to make sure we get there. But in order to understand where I come from and who I am, I want people to know that everywhere you are today is not where your destination is. How I can share that with you? Very simple. I was sitting with my mom one day, and we'll never forget it. I was a teenager. I was that point where you start to like your parents, and this is very important. So I was at that point where you start to like them, and I was sitting at the table. My mom was having a coffee. We were planning this fictitious wedding. I was just a little girl. It was like nothing. Anyway, long story short, what I didn't realize about that amazing moment is that would be, and again, let's see if this works. There we go. That was the last day I would have a family. 4 hours after that coffee, my family passed away, and I don't have a family. Okay, so I lost my family 4 hours later. So one of the things, the reasons why I share that is because a lot of people in this audience, whether or not you see it or not, we're all going through stuff. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are, what you have going on. That was the worst day of my life. I can guarantee you that was the worst day of my life. What I learned from that though is I come from an immigrant family. So my family's Polish, and you know what? We didn't have a lot of family around us. That was all I had. And unlike today where you have GoFundMe and ways to save people, I didn't have that. Okay, so what you see today is not where I came from. What you see today is the outcome of where I came from. One of the best gifts about losing your entire family is that nobody can tell you you can't do anything. That's the difference, is a lot of people sit around and they listen to what other people tell them they can do. Not the case. Because I never had influential parents telling me that I could do anything, that is exactly why I do what I do. But that's why I coach the way I coach. And that's why Tony brought me in, is to say, show us what everybody can do, which is what I'm going to do today. Now here's the other thing. I showed up a couple weeks after I was going home. Obviously, I just buried my mom. And I showed up and there was 2 police officers at the door. And one of the police officers handed me a garbage bag and said, "Are you Marianne Gillespie?" I said, "Yes, I am." They handed me a garbage bag and they said, "You have 15 minutes to pack your stuff. You no longer live here." So at that moment is the moment I realized the value of a home. That led to me being homeless for over 1 year. So for those of you who think that everything is perfect with everybody's life, not the case. So I lived on the street, I actually surfed couches, lived on park benches, slept in cars, ate food out of dumpsters, whatever it took. That's what you do when you're homeless. That's true homeless. So when you have no family, and a lot of people look at people who are homeless and they think that there's a nefarious reason behind everybody. Not the case. I had no other family. Just like many immigrant families, you saw something earlier about immigrants, and it's like, you know what? That's all we have sometimes, is a very small network. So for me, that's what ended up happening. Tragedy led to living homeless. That led to 1 year. And then eventually somebody who was at the YMCA where I showered every day, the front desk girl said, you know what? I think you may need a place to sleep. And she's like, would you like a couch? That was after a year. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I took her up on it. That led to me living in social housing, and that gave me the opportunity to get my life on track. So the truth is that everybody comes from every different facet of what you're going through. And that was when I realized that I can get through anything. Now you guys see that at the end of the day, and I'm speaking fast because I want to cover some really good stuff for you today, but I wanted you to see this. Because one of the biggest rules that I bring to the table as a coach is the mental game of saying anything you want, you can do. Anything. And where you are today is not where you're going to be a year from now. It's never the case. Last year, if it wasn't your best year, this year will be your best year. But you have to follow some of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you. Now, getting back to this, here's the other kicker. You saw that I'm an Ironman World Championship athlete. It is really hard to do an Ironman. You have 16 hours to do it, and it requires a massive, massive mental game just as much as physical. I work out 16 hours a week. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't miss a workout. I am dedicated to the sport. I am definitely one of their all AWA athletes, which means all world athlete, which means I rank in the top 1% of the athletes. And the thing is I'm not 20 years old either. And the other thing is that I used to be 300 pounds. You're going to see a picture later that I'm going to show you. I used to be over 300 pounds, and that's not 20 years ago, that's 6 years ago. And I worked really hard on it. So the truth is that when I was 300 pounds, what I realized is some people will only judge you from the outside. People will always look at social media and think you have this perfect life and everything's perfect, and they'll look at you and they'll judge you on the outside. So if everything's perfect, wonderful. This is why I'm showing you this side of me, because I do not want you to think that everything's been easy for me, and I do not want you to think that I don't understand where you're coming from. I am the hardest worker you'll ever meet, and I push everybody to get to the next level, and I do a lot of work to make sure you guys succeed. But the most important thing is that I stand here to show you that whatever you do want, you can absolutely achieve. So Maya Angelou is a great historian that you can actually look at some of her quotes. This is my favorite one, that you can't control what happens to you sometimes. We can't control the market. We can control nothing. Zero. Okay? Shit happens to us. That's just how it works. But the reality is that if you get reduced by what's happening, that's on you. Don't let it happen to you. This is exactly what we're talking about today. So we're going to get right into the tactical stuff. So Tony's asked me to just load you guys with so much stuff that it's going to be awesome. All right, so let's get to it. Next thing, we're going to talk about the comfort zone. The first thing I'm going to show you is this is what top performers in the real estate industry are. This is their head right now. You're going to see a slide, and again, all of these are on the booklet. We're going to give you the link at the end just in case you didn't get it. But everything I'm sharing with you today, I gave Tony my word that I would make sure that you guys would get it. Much better. Thank you. Love it. So, comfort zone. You'll see this quote right here. Your comfort zone is a liar. Nothing grows here except regrets. Step the F out of it. Okay? I am dead serious. How do you know you're in a comfort zone? Every phase of your life, you will follow what I'm about to show you. Okay? The comfort zone is where when people want to be up here in their life, their business, their finances, whatever it is, but you're over here, and yet you're going, I'm not really in so much pain. I know I could be up here, but I'm here. That's the comfort zone. It's where you're not in any pain, but you want to be somewhere else. But it's not painful enough for you to get out of it. This is where so many people in real estate, they live. So many people in life will live there. And there's nothing wrong with living there, but it also is not going to get you anywhere. You're going to stay there. We call that no man's land. And that's where everybody, when you're about to start on a new venture, that's where you are. The second portion is the fear zone. When people come to me as a business and elite coach, they come to me and they say, we're in the, this is where I am, right there. How do you know you're in the fear zone? I'm going to give you 3 warning signals. The first one is the fear zone is usually where you lack confidence. You want to be somewhere else, you want to invest, you want to sell more real estate, you want to build a bigger business, you want financial success, but you're stuck in the lack of confidence. The lack of confidence will kill you. Get out of there. The second thing, you'll find excuses. Well, you know what, the tariffs, are being announced, Donald Trump, that's all excuses, okay? Our clientele is having their best year ever. We had 98%, we have 800 clients in Canada, and every one of them succeeded last year. 98% of our clients hit their targets. 2%, we can't seem to get that 2% over, but 98% hit their targets, and their targets are all much bigger than they were the year before. So if they had their best years, then what excuses are you guys using? Stay away from any of the excuses. Stay away from them. There's no reason to believe them at all. You have to have a little fire in your belly that says the excuses are garbage. The third thing is you're affected by other people's opinions. If you have people around you who are telling you that this is a bad market, you're not going to be able to do it, it's not good, listings aren't selling, buyers aren't buying, pre-con is down, everything else, then you are literally listening and you are affected by other people's opinions. Make your own market. There is always a way out of it. Somebody said to me, well, condos aren't selling. And I said, really? Condos aren't selling? Watch. And what we did is we arranged a whole thing in an office, and we did a condos available, and we went to all the developers and we said, we have a few inventory models here that we can display, and we're going to do an open house in the real estate office, and we're going to promote the pants off of this. And guess what? And we did. We did a whole seminar on all the pre-cons available in the city. Then we launched out. We had just like this, like a trade show. And we had all of them there. And then we offered incentives. There was amazing. We did the best event ever, and they sold a ton. So how come we were able to do it? Why? We weren't affected by anybody else's opinion. We did something different, and we made the market. That's what you have to do sometimes. So you can have reasons or you can have results. I made it here. Nobody else was flying out of my city to get to Toronto or the surrounding area. How did I make it? I made it to Windsor yesterday. My flight was canceled to Toronto. How did I make it here? You find a way. That's what you do. You don't listen to excuses. So if you're listening to excuses, it's going to slow you down. When you get out of the fear zone, if you work with me or if you work with other people, or if you can get over those three things, get into the learning zone, which is where you're going to have those three things. The most important thing about the learning zone, which is when you get to the next level, which most top producers will, it's going to be messy. You're going to have problems, okay? And don't run away from them. When things go really wrong in your business, that's usually when you're growing. That is 100%. I built the #1 brokerage in Canada and United States for production. You don't think it was messy? Man, I'm telling you, it was terrible. It was messy as anything. When you want to go next level, you are going to have mess, you're going to have problems, it's going to be a disaster. But if you literally love it and you understand, the first time any of you had children, I'm pretty sure you didn't nail it. I'm pretty sure those of you with kids were like, it was messy, and maybe it still is messy, okay? It's always like that, but that's where a lot of top producers live. Then when you get to the next level, which is the growth zone, this is the final chart. That's where you conquer new things. That's where the top producers live. That's where anybody lives. But every aspect of your life, no matter where you start, you are starting in the comfort zone. This cycle repeats itself every single time. So if you're even in your personal life, so if you've got your personal life, the comfort zone will start and then it goes all the way to the growth zone. You need to move yourself through this zone fast. Always recognize it. Be like, okay, I'm in the comfort zone. I really want to be, let's say you want to have a bigger business. Okay, this year I really want to do 40 deals, let's say. And maybe last year you did 15. Be like, okay, I want to do 40. Wonderful. Okay, are you safe right now? Yes, get out of it. What scares you? Well, what scares me is I'm going to have to build a bigger business. I'm going to have to invest in talent, but the market's really bad. Understand, you're in the fear zone. Get out of it. Next thing you do, learning zone. Just go all in and be like, what's going to happen here? I'm going to have problems. You're going to lose listings. You're going to have appointments. You're going to get messy with your follow-up. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. And then you hit the growth zone. You never go back. It is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I will tell you this is one of the most important things that you could look at. The next thing we're going to cover is the biggest trend we've seen. Everybody asks me as a coach in Canada, they say, how did you get all those people having their best year last year? You want to know how I got that last year? Right here. This is the most interesting thing happening in real estate that you'll see next year. Every coach in the industry is going to be talking about this. Mark my words on this stage. I spoke at Inman last year, and I'm telling you, we started putting this in place last year. This year, we're going to share it with the public. Next year, everybody will be talking about this. Before COVID, it was all technology. Realtors and agents and sales reps were not that popular. We had a bad reputation at times. People were like, we make too much money, whatever the case is, and technology took over communication. What happened now we have hundreds of ISAs calling your clients, people in the public, every day, finding information out. We knew this was a trend coming. What happened was technology was going up and relationships with agents was going down. Consumers didn't want to actually talk to us. They didn't want to hear from us. But here's what ended up happening. All of a sudden, Technology started going up, COVID hit, and we shifted. So technology and relationships have now merged. Old school real estate is relationships. That's old school real estate. New school real estate is technology. What's merging right now? Relationships. You need to understand that the consumers are totally, you hear it everywhere. The consumers are confused. They don't know what to do. So are you having a relationship with them, or are you just playing with them? Now watch what we're going to do here. This is the biggest trend you're seeing right now. There are two types of agents. You're either transactional or you're relationship based. One or the other. There is no difference. Now, you know I work with the best in Toronto Real Estate Board and in Canada, so I'm going to ask a really interesting question. You're going to have to move your arms for this. First question I'm going to ask you. Do you think, okay, out of transactional versus relationship-based, transactional means numbers, numbers, numbers. Relationship-based means I like you, I care about you, how are you doing? Which of the two, number one agent in all of Canada, okay, do you think that they are relationship-based or are they transactional-based at their team? If you believe they are relationship-based, lift your hand. Good answer. You're all wrong. Okay, so it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We're not winning anything yet, but here's the thing. Transactional-based realtors and teams will always finish number one because the only thing they care about is numbers. So they want to finish number one. So they're always going to be, give me numbers, I got to hit number one, I got to hit number one. It's always numbers. Doesn't mean they don't care about their clients. That's not what it means. You can still care about them, but they really want to be number one, so they're going to always focus on giving more transactions. Here's the interesting thing. Number two agent in Canada is relationship based. So number one is transactional, number two is relationship based. Show of hands, do you think the transactional based agent makes more money at the end of the year in their pocket than the relationship based? Yes or no? Show. Yes? They make more? No, they don't. Yes and no. It's half and half. No. Okay. Majority of you should say no. Okay, so we want to make sure on this one. The relationship-based agent makes over 30% more at the end of the year than a transactional base. So the question is, do you want to be number one and sell more houses, or do you want to make more money? Money. I'm not embarrassed to say it. If you can make more money, why not? That's not a little bit. That's like a huge chunk. The reason why is transactional-based agents have to spend a lot of money on lead aggregation. They have to spend a ton of money on lead aggregation. So they are always, always bleeding revenue. They're always, always low net profits, okay? I'm a business owner. I like to make sure my net profit is good. How do you know if you're relationship-based or you're transactional-based? Easiest thing to do. If you have a CRM, okay, so if you have a CRM, you are going to be either here, if you are only focused on leads and contacts, and that's all you talk about in your CRM, then that's what you are. You are transactional based. If all you do is post your listings and say, hey, I got a listing, or I just sold something, that's who you are. If you have short-term view, high effort on lead gen, you're always going, lead gen, oh my gosh, we got a lead gen. We got to do 6 hours today. We got to do this. That's really a transactional agent. Relationship-based agents will get about one referral for every 20 people. Okay, transactional will do about 1 to 5 deals on a referral a year. They don't have a lot of referrals, okay? Relationship-based agents, that means in your CRM, you're seeing a lot of really cool stuff. Okay, for example, here's an interesting tip. If you are doing transactions, put the mortgage renewal date in your CRM. I understand birthdays are important, but get your mortgage renewal. It is the biggest tip I can give you. But you build trust, and your more continuous communication is what's key with relationship-based. It is the game winner. Now, here's an interesting thing. Let's say, and I'm going to pick on somebody, so whoever lifts their hands or shouts this out, you'll save somebody from getting picked on. So, what is a customer actually worth? This is the interesting thing. Let's say I'm 33 years old and I buy a house with you. Okay? In the gestation period of all my lifetime of being your client, what GCI number would you put on me? 33, buying my first place with you. And by the way, do you know what the average age in Ontario of a first-time home buyer is right now? What? Who said it? Perfect. 37 is the number, but 35 to 37 is perfect. And why is that? Why is it so, as we like to say, older? They can't afford it, but it's actually because the immigrant community is bringing in, and they actually are bringing that number higher because they're older. A lot of them come here, they're older, and they're saving their money. They have about 120, 140 on average, thousand saved up. They've saved it, they're merging with other families, and they're buying their first houses. So it's an outstanding statistic finally, and it's really a powerful market. So that's why I really like to see that whole immigration program. I think it's amazing. So we're on a roll with you. What would I be worth? 33 years old. Buy my first house with you. What would you say that my GCI value is in the lifetime of being your client? What did you think? Yes. 200,000 we got here. Anybody else? No? All right, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna go with 200. So here's what we've got here. We're going to go really, and again, this is all in the handout that you're going to get. The bottom number is what you want to look at, 3.8 million. One customer is actually worth $3.8 million. Okay, and if you don't think that's true, it is true. Okay, that's for an average 33 buying it because they're going to buy a house, sell and buy at 43, buy at 47 investment, 53 sell and buy, and then you're probably looking at 77. You're going to see that. But 3.8 million is how you should be treating your customers. Many people don't do a thing. Okay, this is relationship based. The reason why the return is so high is because if you treat people in a relationship really well, you're going to see what happens. It's going to explode. Now, wait till you see this. Okay, and we are going to get very tactical today, so I'm going to be showing you some really cool stuff in a second. Okay, why shift to relationship based? Just worry about the last number I'm going to show you. The last number on this slide is 28% of sellers choose to work with the same agent after they list their house. That means in Ontario, 72% of every listing sold. So if there's 100 listings sold last month in Toronto, let's say, out of 100, 72% will never use their agent again. Why? Because it's transactional. Most agents are actually transactional. Very few are relationship based because we've pivoted into there. Trust me on the trends. Trust me on this one. 28% will work with the same agent that they used before. And I will tell you why that's happening. It's not just because the agents are terrible, it's because of this. So we're going to cover this quickly. Take a look. We have 1 in 3 people are getting divorced. Okay, 1 in 3 people are getting divorced. Now, from this side of the room, what is the average age of a divorced person today? What is the hottest age demographic right now for divorces? 50. 50? Are you? No, I'm kidding. What age? 35, and what age do you say? Same thing? Okay, we got some 30s here. Okay, brace yourself, over 65. It's not over yet, guys. It's not over. I don't know. You gotta go to your partners. I don't know what happened on Valentine's, but you better have got something good because it isn't over. So the average age of divorces is higher, and you want to hear why? This is incredible. So the average age is over that 60 plus because guess what? So I do Ironmans. I walk into an Ironman, the 60 to plus category is unbelievable. If you want to see how strange things are, take a look at a picture of whatever age you are today, and then ask your family for a picture of your grandparents the same age as you are today. That will scare the daylights out of you. Okay, if I saw a picture of my grandparents, what they are today. My mom passed away. I'm older than she is today, than she was when she passed away. I cannot tell you how different. It's incredible. The idea of my mother doing Ironmans, and I'm older today than she was when she died. So I'm like, it's incomprehensible how different we're evolving. So the physical wellness industry has taken off like you've never seen before. So what's happened is all these 60-plus-year-olds are sitting down and they have a partner who's getting into the health and wellness, going, I'm living longer, I'm feeling great, I want to live life, I don't feel like dying and retiring. And their other partner is going, but I kind of feel like I want to sit and watch the Canada-US hockey game, I don't want to do anything, I just want to sit around, I don't really feel like climbing mountains and traveling the world. Then they have all this equity equity in their houses, and what's happening is they're diversifying. They're going, look, I want to live, you want to retire, this is just not suitable anymore, and they're deciding to go their separate ways because they have so much equity in their house, the kids are grown, they're like, let's just do this. It is crazy how popular that age group really is. So you have to watch out for that, okay? Second thing is, so 1 in 3 people getting divorces, that's a big reason why people are selling. Second thing, 66% of people 75 years and older own houses still in Ontario. They still own houses and they're being forced to sell. There's another demographic that you've really got to watch out for. 20% of debt is the reason why homeowners are selling in Ontario right now. 32% of mortgage defaults in Ontario are because of critical illness. That means that they got diagnosed with critical illness, they're going to pass away, this is why they're actually getting ready to sell. And this number's changed as of recently. We're almost at 7% unemployment, which is ridiculously high. Ridiculously high. What irritated me about COVID was so many people said during COVID, oh, the people who are unemployed don't own houses, they're renters. Not true. 1.6 million people who are unemployed right now own houses. That is insane. And it's getting higher. So you know what you don't understand, because of our mortgages, as many of these people can tell you, back here, this is a big number. These are huge numbers. So why are we allowing? These are the reasons why people are selling. So here's my point about relationships. What happens is you guys think that everybody here is going to call you, but they don't. I have 800 clients. I will tell you right now, they do not pick up a phone and they will not call you and they will not tell you and be like, the reason why that 72% of sellers won't use you again is because of this. They're not going to call you and be like, hey, you have a perfect life, your social media account looks really good, or it's great, haven't talked to you in 3 years, I just want to let you know that I'm getting divorced. They don't do that. They'll call you when it's happy news. They're not calling you when stuff is wrong. If they lost their job and they're embarrassed that they've let their family finances go, they're not going to call you. Okay, they're not going to do that. I can assure you they're not going to do that because we see it all the time. Picking up a phone and calling your clients is the most critical thing you can actually do. Watch this picture. You cannot share this picture on social media though. That's me on the end. That is me 6 years ago. Okay? The reason I'm showing you this picture that I hate so much, this is a picture that changed my life. I didn't own a bike. That my friend Carrie was next to me, okay? So for people who, now, the one thing that I'm really angry about, I'm angry that 6 years ago, Ozempic wasn't around. That really irritates me. I put in 2 years of workout at 16 hours a week, and I was like, man, where's Ozempic? Why was it not around 6 years ago? But the point is this, is that was me. This picture changed my life. But what happened with this picture was this. I had 2 personal trainers, amazing personal trainers on my Facebook site. And they sent me, after I became an Ironman World Championship athlete, they sent me a message. And it was terrible. Both of them called me every name in the book. They told me, I'm international businesswoman. They're like, you don't support local. You're not a good person. Why didn't you hire us? They were angry because I didn't hire them. And so I responded back to them and I said, 2 questions. Did you ever reach out to me and I missed your call or your message or anything? Because it is possible, I'm very busy, it's possible. They said, no, but you should have called us. I said, okay, that's the first question. Second question, were you blind? Because I'm pretty sure you can see that I'm over 300 pounds here. I'm pretty sure anybody could see that I'm overweight in this picture. And they're like, well, no, we had our eyesight. I said, okay, but why didn't you reach out to us? You know why I didn't reach out? This is my point, because it's about relationships. If you see me and I'm overweight and your job is to get people healthy, why do I have to reach out to you? It doesn't make any sense. You know what? Show me that you care. I'm on your social media, you're bragging about how amazing you are. What, I'm supposed to beg you to come work with me? I'm embarrassed. I was insecure. Like it was all the above. But yet you wanted me to reach out to you. I said, that's not how it works. You had to show me you thought you were so good, or I would reach out to you just because I knew you were personal training. So when I went back to that other slide, this is what I'm telling you about. You need to reach out to people because financially and economically and all the statistics I showed you weren't just for fun. They're there to tell you that you need to reach out to people and show them stuff. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do that, that's the most critical thing. If you know that people right now, it's all over the media and all over the news. If you know that people are struggling financially, which is no secret, every mortgage rep in this entire room should be telling you how bad it is for some people, how strapped financially some people are. They should be telling you this stuff. If you don't understand that, pick up a phone and call people. Stop hiding behind social media. Stop thinking that people are going to call you. There's a study that was done 2 months ago in Canada. In your cell phone, there's 4% of your cell phone has deals right now that you can do. So for every 100 people in your contact list, 4 of them will do a deal this year. So if you have 300, there's 12 deals in there. You have 1,000 people in your cell phone, you have 40 deals sitting in your cell phone right now. The only script you need to know and do, and I'm just going to get this picture off. There we go. Let's get that off. Anyway, if you don't mind. Anyway, so I don't want to stare at it forever. Anyway, so here's the thing. The easiest script you can use, the easiest one, is to say very simply, pick up a phone, go through your cell phone, and say, hey, it's Marianne. I'm reaching out to you. It's 2025, and I just want to know, is there any help you need in real estate? Is there anything that I can answer question-wise for you? That's it. This is a way, and I'm going to show you a lot of stuff today. Remember, everything is in the downloadable guide I'm going to give you. 6 things that you want to do here. First thing, build your database. I am telling you right now, if you don't have a goal, build your database. Make sure you have your database built up. You need to have a smart CRM. We'll talk about that in a second. Social media, very important. Every client you have, meet, know, get them on your personal social media site. If you are not leveraging social media, it is the biggest marketing platform in the world. I don't care. My friends know me. Everybody else knows me. I don't care what's on my social media for them. Use social media. It's the largest free marketing platform in the world. You're crazy if you don't, so make sure you do it. Host live Q&As, way better. Call people 4 times a year. Every quarter you should have a recycling call. I am telling you, it works. That script I just gave you, insanely easy. 50 or more touches. That means if you are not sending 50 pieces of information that are relevant and hyper-local per year through your database and your CRM, you are losing so much business, it's ridiculous. That's relationship-based. All these great people in the room today should be providing you excellent hyper-local content that you can actually bring to your clients. If you think 3 touches a month, 3 emails a month is a lot, that means your content's not very good. Okay, because people are getting 10,000 pieces of content per day. So if you're not even doing 50 a year, you're not top of mind with people. Okay, trust me. If the content is good and it's excellent, you will absolutely have nobody unsubscribe. So test out, talk to your clients, see what's good. And if you ever have questions, let me know. We got social media, we've got AI now, it can run easily what consumers want. And we'll cover AI later. AI integration, a smart CRM is mandatory, no matter what. A smart CRM means it's integratable with artificial intelligence. What that means, Follow Up Boss, Lofty, 2 of the best ones on the market right now, okay? Really, really good. Focus on the client, not you. And then the last point about this is create a Disney plan. So what we mean by creating a Disney plan is right here where you can actually, we have a client that has a VA that literally watches all clients on social media. They go and all they do is they watch. So if they have the client list and they see it, they basically turn around and they go, here you go, and they say, oh, your client just went, every Friday they get a report. The client said, the VA goes, oh, Marianne just went to Cuba, let's just use that. Marianne went to Cuba, look at the picture, should I send her from Amazon a bottle of aloe vera? And it's easy. And they just go, hey, looks like you had a great trip. And it's a $3 bottle of aloe vera that they sent to the client's house. The client loved it. Client's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was so great. That was hilarious. It was super funny. Every time I do an Ironman, I did Berlin Marathon last year. So I did Berlin Marathon in September, and then I went, and I showed you guys all the stuff I went through was very simple, because I had stuff I was going through. And we don't see it, because everybody looks perfect. But understand something, people are in massive pain right now. If you talk to the mortgage reps, they'll tell you people are financially underwater. They will tell you that people are losing their jobs everywhere. Divorces are rampant, bad financial decisions. And the reality is that you can lean in or you can lean out. And I lean in. And all I do is I call it a contribution call. And what helps my head and my client's head is I think people feel like we're harassing. Once you think of it like this, it's a contribution call. And if you're coming from contribution, that means you give a shit about people. If you don't give a shit about people, they can feel it. But contribution call allows your brain to go, I'm calling to check in and see if you're okay. You're gonna see the results will be sick. And if they don't want to talk to you, they're not gonna answer. They're never gonna answer. They'll just let it go to voicemail, and deep down inside, they'll give a shit. They'll be like, that was really nice of you to call. And I leave a message. So I call my clients in my database every quarter, I do a call. And here's how a message goes for somebody who hasn't answered my call in 3 quarters. Okay, so my message just goes like this. I just like, hey Sally, it's Marianne. Listen, it's the 3rd time I'm trying you this year, so I really understand that you don't want to talk to me, and I'm okay. My therapist says that, that's fine. And I get them laughing, and I'm just like, my therapist says it's fine. I get it, but I also know where you live. So here's the thing. And I do that. I have fun with it. I'm like, I also know where you live. So I've decided that, you know what, I want a text message back from you because I'm feeling a little lonely. So give me a text message back, or I'm coming over for Sunday dinner. So hope everything's great, and let me know how things are going. I'll send you a text and follow up. And I do. I'm just like, did you get my message? And they'll just LOL, shit's busy, whatever. I'll tell you a true story about my mom dying. I'll never forget, a realtor cold called on the day of her funeral. Okay? The worst day to do it. So a realtor cold called during there, and I laced into that realtor like nobody's business. I was like, it's like, I don't even know who the realtor is, but they probably got out of the business when I was done. And I was sitting there and I was going, so sometimes what it comes down to is that when people aren't answering your calls and stuff, they're going through shit you don't know. You just don't know. And it's like, and so reality is that when people send you to voicemail, doesn't mean doesn't mean they don't want to talk to you. It means that they may be going through stuff, they may not need you, but the call itself comes from contribution. And when you lead from contribution, your business goes through the roof. But you have to stop pretending that people are okay. They're not. They're not okay. 72% of people are not calling you because they don't feel like you care. And we've entered into a society where we did a lot of stuff as realtors that maybe we shouldn't have sold houses for 100 to 200,000 over. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. So our reputation needs a little bit of fixing too. So by being that one realtor, when you know so many aren't reaching out, just be the person that does, and be desensitized and say, I'm doing a contribution call, and just rip the Band-Aid off, write the script in front of your face, and just read the script. And just be like, hey, guess what, I'm just calling, and read it, and then watch what happens. I guarantee you, I've done this for years, and I will tell you, I've not had one person, not one, has said that somebody got angry. Not one. They all care. I wish people did too. You know what I mean? I wish people called all the time and just checked in. Well, I was on the flight. I literally posted a video flying to Toronto, and I was like, hey, I'm just like leaving for Toronto. And there's like a thing where I always bring bad news and bad weather. So I was like, I'm leaving for Toronto. I'm super excited. And I'm like, You know how much it meant to me that so many people reached out because I was stuck in the air when the accident happened? And everybody was like, oh my gosh, are you dead? Right? Because I'm always flying to Toronto, and I literally was posting it as I was getting on the plane, and the accident was happening while it was right in front of us. So it happened. It felt really good to know that people cared. What didn't feel good is the ones who didn't. I was like, wait, you don't care that your coach was like possibly in an accident? But it felt really good. But did I respond to everybody? No, I couldn't. There's too many messages. But it really meant a lot to me. So contribution feels good. So always remember, you're making people feel good, regardless if you don't think you are or not. It's that one moment in time that somebody cares when nobody else does. You know what? We had, not to say that this is the most appropriate thing, but I'll tell you, because I meet so many people, there's so many people who have, unfortunately, this is a very high suicide time. We know because of the Bell days, the Bell media days, and things like that. We know that people are going through a lot of stuff. And we see it all the time. And I personally lost 2 really good people in the real estate community in the last 2 weeks because of bad mistakes or whatever, investments and things like that. And the truth is that, you know what? A million times over, nothing would have changed probably, but a million times over, I kick myself by saying, if I just read up like 5 minutes, maybe show that person that enough people cared about them and that there was a solution out there for them and they weren't alone, you never know. And if you lead with that, it will push you through the fear. So do it. More questions? We're going to keep asking. We got a lot, so this is good. Let's keep going.
I have 2 questions. So, my social media presence, very minimum. I honestly, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
And I know you said you better.
Yeah, I hate it too.
Yeah. So I did this year, so I had companies, that does that. They approach me, they say, we can do all
For
this
sure.
for you, but it's expensive. Would you recommend try this?
Such a good question. Would I recommend hiring a social media company for thousands of dollars to run your social media? I would never. No. I'm sorry. Hopefully nobody posts that. Please don't. But no, because I do have friends that own companies, but no, I wouldn't. So what I did is I hired a full-time person to run my social media. I'm like him. I don't love social media. The only place you'll find me active on social media is my Instagram account, and I'm active on there, but I find it really hard. I'm not a phony person. I'm very, very to the point, and I'm very busy. So I'm very uncomfortable with social media, so it took a lot for that. So when it comes to hiring another company, no, they don't know me. They have no clue who I am. So hiring a third party to be me and be that company, no. So what I did is two things. First of all, there's amazing VAs out there. They're amazing, like really like amazing. And these VA companies are super good. I can, later on, if you email me, I can give you like a list of some of the companies we use. But I love VAs, and they can run your whole social media, everything for $1,200 a month. And that's nothing. That's a very small investment, and they are wickedly good. The second thing that you can do is you can do what I personally did is I looked up and I found somebody for 40 hours a week. I pay her $42,000, I think it is, plus bonuses to run it and see the production. So I eventually brought in-house social media because it's that important. But I would say right now, you are easily could hire a VA, get some of that like Opus AI, just do the video content one day a week and rip the Band-Aid off and send it to them, let them edit it and do it. But I would hire a full-time VA, run everything, let them understand who you are, give them perimeters, and teach them how to be you. Because a social media company has 700 clients. They're not you. But a VA that you can hire full-time, super affordable, a quarter of the cost, they do great work. It's a misconception that VAs are not good. They're amazing. And then what you can do, treat them as part of your team, quarter of the cost, and they'll get to know you. And that's the key.
What's VAs?
Virtual assistant. Yeah, so a virtual assistant. So usually, like my favorite is a great company that I'll share by email, and I'll give it to Tony as well, is in the Philippines. There's an amazing company, and they're the best VAs I've ever seen in the industry. And they're literally unbelievable. And we have 3 of them, and I'll be honest with you, they're family. Like, they're literally family. So that's how good they are. They're excellent. One question here, and then I have 3 here. Somebody else had their hand up over there? Yes?
So if you are a, sorry.
So if you are an old school realtor now, because the AI and the social media, what is your best advice? How much time you want to contribute to pivot your old school business style to nowadays, AI, social media, which is, new to the segment. What is your best advice to enter?
Excellent. So first of all, old school, new school, doesn't matter. Old school, new school, irrelevant. What I would do is I would pick 2 or 3 from the list I gave you. Focus on nurture. So to be honest with you, if you're going social media, I would say use Facebook. If you only had to pick one platform, still use Facebook. Your personal Facebook, not your business, your personal. So if I were you, I would absolutely use that. Second piece of advice, learn Meta. If you don't have your Meta set up and you don't know what AI is in Meta, don't go to any of the stuff I showed you. Do not do it. Start there because you're not learning it. Okay, old school is like the people who have Facebook accounts, they're doing nothing with it, and they don't even know what Meta is. They're like, what is Meta? I'm like, take the time. Meta is powerful. It's incredible. It ties your Instagram and your Facebook, but it is loaded with some AI technology that will start teaching you what you can do. It can literally change your business. So that's where I would start. I wouldn't jump into any of the stuff that I showed you if you haven't even touched base in there, because it's billions of users. All your community and friends are on Facebook. So start learning how to reach them and then evolve. So that's where I'd start. 100%. Question on this side. Yes?
Sorry, you mentioned about like getting people.
We'll do 10 more minutes and then that's it. Yeah?
You talk about adding people to the database, cultivating different groups, and being relationship-based realtors. So I guess I'm asking for advice. So I've been kind of doing that, and I've been cultivating my kids' school, I guess, parents. or other community groups as well. So I think the problem is, for me, is being too personable after. A lot of stuff, so people look at me as this person versus now he's the realtor. How do I cross back over to bring business up in the topic, because it becomes awkward, right? People are like, well, why are you mixing relationship now? Like, why are you mixing your business with, you know, our personal relationship?
Yeah.
How do I bring everybody back to the point of, you know, cultivating the business?
Yeah, that's a big one. So his question really is that, you know, with friends and family and all these people that he's very personable with, how, you know, they see him as more of a friendship and a relationship that direction, and realistically he's struggling converting them back into clients and business mindset. Really smart question. Okay, very, very interesting. You have to really, and again, so I look at my Ironman community, okay, we train 16 hours a week together, right? We're like this. How do I bring business to them? Very easy. I sit down with them and I take current topics and use that as a lean in, right? So I take the current topic, hottest topic right now is fixed versus variable, mortgage renewals, and what the heck is gonna happen to real estate with the tariff market. So what do? I lean into that with my friends and I go, hey guys, listen, I know we work out 16 hours a week and all that, but I'm also incredibly knowledgeable about this stuff. And it's not okay with me to not check in with you guys and just ask you, is everything okay? Do you have any questions about tariffs, about rates, about the market? Because it's very important that you know that although you're my workout buddies and we're in this together, I need to make sure that you're okay with anything housing related. Just ask it. Pick a current hot topic, ask it, and then drop it. You don't need to do that often. You only need to do that 2 or 3 times in a year, and they'll know that you care. You just gotta let them know. Because if you avoid the topic altogether, it's awkward, but then also if you acknowledge the fact that you're my buddy and you're my friend or whatever the case is, then it's no issue. I call my dentist. You think I'm joking? I call my dentist. I literally call my dentist. And I was like, I called the front desk of the dentist and then I walked in there. I was like, his name's Dr. Buchlein. And I was like, hey, I'm just popping in. I'm like, I know I'm here to get my teeth worked on all the time and things like that. And I'm like, I don't have bad teeth. But anyway, I used to have braces. But anyway, so I'd be like, I'm just bopping in. I want you guys to know, if anybody here has any questions about the market or anything else like that, I hope you guys all know that you can reach out to me. No question is off the table just because we're all in a different environment. I do it my best friends, okay, and my neighbors who are seeing me as a friendship and all the time. I just reach out to them all the time. Hey guys, listen, and my neighbor was on Facebook the other day and sent me some like ridiculously weird thing. And I was like, hey, by the way, I was like, do you need any questions answered for you? It's a very weird market out there, but I'm okay with helping because there's huge opportunities. Right away, they're like, well, what do you think? What do you think the market's gonna do? Perfect, lean in. My best friends, I call them up, I'm just like, hey, I know we just saw each other last week for the hockey game, totally understand that, but I didn't want to bring it up at the hockey game, but I wanted you guys to know that I'm here to answer any questions you have. And I know there's a lot of media that's scaring people right now, and there's a lot of positive stuff. Is there any questions you guys have? Can I help with anything? Keep the door open, and just let them know you care. Like, that's it. That's all you have to do. Another question? Yeah?
Frequently asked questions that we get is, thousands of realtors around us, why should we be working with you?
Why should we work with you with all the choices out there? Well, what do you say?
I said that there is a difference between Rolls Royce and Mercedes, and I am the Rolls Royce.
I love that answer. I love it. You know what the thing that I love is that when people ask, because I get the question all the time, why a coach with you as opposed to others? Well, it's confidence, right? But it's also, at the same token, it's very easy. When somebody says there's so many choices out there, why would I do it with you? Just say, because. Is this your most important asset? Yes, absolutely. So then I'm going to get everything that you need done. Absolutely, 110%. I put my word behind it. I guarantee everything. I guarantee my coaching clients the same as I guarantee my residential real estate clients. I'm like, I will guarantee you that I will do everything I possibly can to sell your house for the highest price possible. You have to be confident. And you have to use the stats of home life behind you. You know, if you're not taking advantage, does anybody know year to date or, you know, how you performed? You know, get some statistics. How many listings has the company sold? How many sales has the company done? Use Tony and Scott and figure out how much statistics. Statistics speak volume. And you have a lot of realtors in your community. So are you able to take the statistics and use the right ones to show that confidence? And be like, why? Because we're this company. Are we a local company? Are we a Canadian company? Are we a successful company? What statistics do we have at Home Life that will give you that power to show that you are the Rolls Royce? Because if you're going alone and you're competing alone, you are less powerful than you are as a major group. So get the stats from Tony and lean into them and use the power and say, this is who we are, and we have your back. There's a lot of power behind Canadian companies, Canadian brokerages, Canadian people. There's a lot of power behind us right now. So we got to utilize that strong, very, very strong. Even events like this, I would say, well, here's a couple pictures from the event we just had. We literally just learned everything from all these great sponsors and all these people, and we spent the day in here learning. Don't keep this shit secret. If you're in here today, you need to be talking about that so your consumers are watching you. They're saying, what are you learning? Showing that you're here growing, huge. We have time for maybe one more question. Let's go.
Sorry, so when you're calling your database, are you, that's a very simple question, do you leave a message every time and also follow up with a text message? Like, what's your sequence?
Love that question. When you call your database, do you leave a voicemail or also do you text message? Super easy. So I am obsessed with results on database. I do not at all, okay? I never do this. I never, ever, ever not leave a message because it drives me bananas. I don't ever answer my cell phone either, like ever. So I was literally in a car the other night going to an event to speak, and the guy, the organizer hired a car to drive me because the plane was canceled, and he kept calling. I don't answer. I just don't answer. I talk for a living. I'm like, I don't answer my phone. So anyway, so he called the driver and said, can you tell her to answer her phone? I'm like, no. I still didn't answer it. Anyway, so the point is do I leave a message and then do I text? Yes, I do. So my system is very easy. I set up my call plan like this, and I'll tell you exactly how it rolls. So in my system, in my Lofty system, I have a 4-touch plan per year. So that means I start today, and I'll put 10 people, I'll make 10 calls, and then I'll assign a plan. The next call is prompting me in 3 months to call the person. So what I do is I'll call you, and I would be like, hey, what's your first name? Elisa? Okay, so I'd be like, hey Elisa, this is a message. I'd just like, hey Elisa, it's Marianne. Hope everything's going amazing. Lots of questions happening on the market right now. I want to reach out to see if everything's okay. Do you have any questions or need anything? Also, because at Home Life, we are doing home equity checks for free until the end of March 31st. I want to make sure and see, do you want me to shoot one off over to you and tell you what the equity on today would be for your house? Happy to do that for you. I'm going to send you a text message over the next 48 hours just to see if you've got this, and just give me a yay or a nay on that. Happy to do that. That's all I do. And just remember, it's like leverage it out. It doesn't, you can easily just say, it's Home Life, I'm just like, we're doing this until March 31st. You'll get 50% of people saying, that'd be great. That'd be great, but call it a home equity check. Okay, we have to keep this rolling, so here's how you're gonna find stuff. I'm gonna just show you really quickly, because you guys want all the notes to this. You can see at the very bottom, right here, this is where you can download all this shit from today, plus more stuff. We put a 555 script in there. There's so much stuff in this booklet because Tony's like, you better give us everything. And I was like, let's do this. So this is where it is. The only place you're going to likely reach me, that's my website, but here's my Instagram. This is the only account you'll find me actually active on, Marianne.Gillespie. And if you're putting pictures up from today's event, you better tag me on them because my social team is going to put it all together and do a really cool reel to support you guys. But you will get everything from here. And then, like I said, we do a ton of extra stuff, and I'm happy to help. So I've got to catch, hopefully, an airplane back home. So thank you, Home Life, for having me. Thank you, Tony and Scott, for having me, too. It was awesome meeting you guys. We'll see you guys later.